Let's talk about how to pass the NatWest first round video interview. What's up guys, it's Mike from Job Ready English here to help you get hired. If you don't already know me, my name is Mike. I have been helping graduates and professionals get into some of the world's most difficult jobs since 2013. And today I'm going to be breaking down the first round interview process for NatWest, one of the UK's largest banks. In this video, I'm going to give you some facts about NatWest, which we can use in your answer to why do you want to work for NatWest. I'm going to talk about their first round interview process, and we're going to go through some of the most common questions that were asked to candidates this year and how to think about answering those questions. So let's start off with some facts about NatWest, which we gleaned using ChatGPT and summarising their annual report. In 2023, NatWest's operating profit was £6.3 billion, up 20% from 2022. Their return on tangible equity was 17.8%, up from just over 12% in 2022. NatWest supported opening 1.5 million new savings accounts in 2023, and their retail banking mobile app had 9.8 million users. In 2023, NatWest raised £3.8 million for good causes and logged 125,000 volunteers hours. The bank's Career Sense program has supported over 15,000 young people in 2023. NatWest invested £11.1 million in direct community initiatives and supported over 100,000 startups in 2023 alone. So what can we expect from the NatWest video interview process? NatWest uses HireView. People had varying responses about how many questions they were asked with HireView, but most people was between 3 to 6 questions. I would definitely prepare for 6 questions just in case. And the general consensus was that you had 2 minutes to answer the questions, and a lot of candidates reported a short time to prepare in between questions, which would indicate they were given anywhere between 30 seconds to a minute to prepare before they were asked their next question using the HireView video interview software. So I put together 10 of the most common questions that we came across. So before I go through the 10 most common questions that I picked out that were asked for people who interviewed for NatWest, I just wanted to go through their values, because a lot of the questions related back to their values. Generally, a company's interview process will be built around values and will be marked based upon them, and also the job description. So this is directly from the NatWest group. They have 5 values, which is inclusive, curious, robust, sustainable, and ambitious. And something that I encourage you to do is to read those values and also see if you can incorporate the language and the values into your answer, and also match up your competency answers or your star stories or situational stories to each of these core values. For example, for inclusive, NatWest said, "We work together to achieve great things with our colleagues, communities, and customers. We celebrate and respect everyone's strengths and differences and share our knowledge and experiences. We are committed to nurturing a fair and inclusive environment where we all feel we belong." So let's talk about the 10 most common questions that I came across through the research that we carried out through publicly available sources from candidates who had interviewed for NatWest this year. Just to give you a rough idea, I went through the memories of about 100 candidates to put together this list of questions. And as ever, if you have a highly technical interview for something like software engineering or generally a tech-related role, then you should be prepared to answer technical related questions. Question number 1, why do you want to work for NatWest? Now, at the start of this video, I gave you 7 or 8 key facts about NatWest. And this is absolutely crucial when answering this question. A lot of people will fall into the trap of basically being very vague about their answers of why they want to work for a company, and essentially just concentrate on the fact that it's big and it's famous and it would be a great opportunity and it's something that they really want to do. The litmus test that you always want to use when you're thinking about how to answer this question is, could I say this for any other company? If the answer is yes, then you're being too generic. But if the answer is no, then you're being quite specific by picking out 5 or 6 key facts about the company. Question number 2, describe the experience of making a commitment. Now, this is an unusual question, which is the reason why I picked it out. And the experience of making a commitment is essentially binding yourself in a relationship to somebody or something else. For example, you could make a commitment to go to the gym. You could make a commitment to work every Saturday. You could make a commitment to not play video games anymore. Making a commitment is an act of, number 1, making a promise, acting with integrity, and then following through with your actions. So when you're thinking about making a commitment, first of all, I think it's really relevant to explain why this is serious or of a nature which demonstrates you going beyond your comfort zone. For example, in the case of going to the gym, you could say, well, recently I discovered that I was 3 stone overweight and I had the potential to be pre-diabetic. I made a commitment to go to the gym 3 times a week and also to eat healthily. Now for me, this isn't really easy because for the past 2 years while I've been at university, I've spent a lot of time drinking, partying, eating fast food and not getting a lot of exercise. But I'm quite scared about how much weight that I've put on, and I'm young and I realize that I've got the rest of my life ahead of me and I don't want to be in bad shape. And here's the ways that I managed to stay committed to the thing that I'd set out to do. And then you can lay those things out. Another really easy way of thinking about this is teaching someone else how to do something. What would you say if you taught somebody else how to be committed to the thing that you did? And that tends to change the frame of reference by which somebody will deliver their answer. Question number 3, what makes you think you'll be a good fit for the role? And when we're answering why do we want to do this job, we answer this in 2 parts. First of all, you want to explain the job and exactly what it is that you're going to be doing. What would you be expected to do as a finance analyst day to day? Who would you speak to? What tasks would you have to do? Would you have to study for a particular qualification? And then the second part of this answer can revolve around the 2 or 3 key skills that you believe are really important for this job and providing a sentence of proof. What you don't want to do for this answer is spend a lot of time saying about how you're great and you're really bright and you're hardworking and you just need to be given an opportunity. It's not a good look, and generally it's a sign of desperation, which is never attractive. Question number 4, give me an example of a time when you needed to show excellent teamwork skills. Now, a lot of you watching this, if you're a graduate, can relate to a university project or something that you've done. It also could be in a service job that you had to do. Very often when I speak to people about service jobs, and they'll say, well, I don't think it really is an example of teamwork, but of course it is. Say you're working as a pizza delivery driver, well, there's somebody who needs to take the order, process the order, make the order and give the order to you so that you can then deliver the order. There are a couple of elements of teamwork which are super important to emphasize. Number 1 is communication, setting out a common goal, being willing to do above and beyond what is expected of you, having leadership capabilities not just for yourself but for other people, and the ability to overcome objections and hurdles to meet your common goal. Question 5, how do your values align with the company? Now, values-based questions are quite interesting. We already spoke about the 5 values that NatWest has: inclusive, curious, robust, sustainable, and ambitious. A way that I would recommend that you answer this question is, first of all, just to outline that you know NatWest core values, and maybe free out and demonstrate with a very short example. The reason being is you've only got 2 minutes to answer this question, so you want to be mindful about the constraints that time gives you. A question that I often get from people, particularly graduates, is to say, well, should I say this or should I say that? I say, dude, it doesn't really matter. It's based upon how much time you have and how you can deliver a good answer that's also concise, which generally comes from practice. It's very unlikely that you're going to be able to move through all 5 of those core values. So just pick out 2 or 3 where you can give a decent sized answer, maybe 30 seconds, and also cover the key core values, those 5 that NatWest already have. Question number 6, tell me about a recent piece of business news. Now, if you're applying to work in a bank or any type of financial institution, it's really important that you're up to date with business news. And the way that you do this is actually really simple. Just type in banking industry news, sign up to a newsletter, and just keep on top of what's happening once a week. Now, this is a really simple and easy thing for you to do. You don't need to read Bloomberg all the time or listen to CNBC. You can literally just keep up to date with the things that are going on a weekly basis. And I would suggest that you pick something which is microeconomic. So it's based around a person, a company, or a particular event, rather than something that is macroeconomic. So whether it's dealing with, a trade war, inflation, interest rates, as in my experience, people will really struggle to explain a concept in 2 minutes, which could easily be talked about for 2 hours. Question number 7, tell me about a time when you showed innovation or created a new idea. Now, this is often a question which creates a lot of confusion with people, because when they try to think about something which is innovative, they tend to turn around and say, well, I haven't really done anything that's innovative. But really, innovation is just a new way of doing something, or a new system or order in which you have put a series of actions together. So simply, you could innovate on your daily routine because you wake up at a new time. You could innovate concentrate on the way that you cook food because you don't order in anymore, but you actually go to the shop and do a weekly supermarket shop. Now, I know that these sound like really trite and simple examples, but I wanted to include this question because it's something that often catches people out. Your innovation could really just be a different way of looking at something, a new perspective or a new way of approaching a problem or situation. Question number 8, tell me about an unexpected situation and how you handled it. Well, there's a couple of things to say about this question. First of all, if it's unexpected, it should be something that people would genuinely find challenging. The second thing is make sure that you explain the situation in a really clear way. When we're talking about situation, task, action, result to answer competency questions. Very often what I tend to find when people are talking about a situation is that they'll be very vague. They won't clearly explain what it is that they did. They won't tell me who they did it with. They'll talk about their teammates, their colleagues, their co-workers. Give them names. It doesn't have to be their real names, but just think like you're telling a real story to your mum or dad. So there's a certain level of explanation that needs to go into it. There's a certain amount of detail that creates a clear story. Now, an unexpected situation should be something where you have to demonstrate some type of leadership or critical thinking or problem solving skills in order to overcome this and then demonstrate a good result. Question number 9, how have you used data to influence decisions? Now, increasingly over, I would say, the past 7 to 8 years, data-based questions have become quite common when people are applying to work for bank, because even if you can't code, the expectation is that you have a level of numeracy, and also you can use data to come to decisions. That could be the truth if you're working in a retail bank and helping somebody to get a loan, if you're working in commercial banking and helping a company with a revolving credit facility. The use of data is really synonymous now with banking. Now, when thinking about using data, you want to kind of break it down in terms of what data did I need, where did I get that data, how did I make sure that that data is accurate, and how did I use that to make a business related decision, which means it is objective and not subjective based upon my own personal thoughts and feelings. And finally, question number 10, please introduce yourself or tell me about yourself. Now, a personal introduction, if you don't already have one, then you should. If you don't know how to do that, then make sure you check the link down in the description below for application success secrets. It is absolutely crucial because it is the way for you to practice how to sell yourself. What are you doing now? What have you done in the past? What would you like to do in the future? What's your work experience, extracurricular activities, and then finally your skills and hobbies, and something that I like, which is ending on a hook or something that makes you really interesting. Now, a good personal introduction doesn't just happen overnight. It's something that I recommend you practice at least 5 or 10 times by writing out the script, reading from the script, and then practicing by yourself once a day by taping it up somewhere where you live, where whenever you see it, you can just try to read it out loud and to recall that information. Guys, I hope that you enjoyed this video. Let me know how you get on with NatWest, whether this video has helped you or what other companies you'd like us to cover. Good luck. Bye.